this. Oh, Lord. I tell you what. Hey, guys, everybody, welcome back to the show. And so there is a bet going on tonight, and I'm trying to be much calmer and be much more regulated, self-regulation, awareness of some of the things I say and stuff of that nature. So I have a bet going with Miss Michelle over here that I cannot say 5 cuss words during the show. Now, Billy is on the side of Michelle. She thinks this is going to be absolutely impossible. But I'm working hard on this. And then because the name of the title, and I want to make sure we're clear on this. If I'm thinking like this is like what was that movie with Tom Cruise in it where it was the where the people were the mind police and stuff like that?
Minority Report.
Yes, Minority Report. Thank you, Billy. If this was the Minority Report, I would have been executed in scene 1. All right. I do kill people in my head oftentimes. I definitely cuss like it's my job 1,000 times a second in my head. And they're not like auditory hallucinations or anything. It's the actual full on words that come out in my head that says, boom, scream it out or say it, but I don't. I have to be chill. And so that's what I'm doing. But anyway, guys, everybody, welcome to the show. It's just 3 guys sitting around having a few drinks together and just talking about. With that being said, I'm having Buffalo Trace tonight. I did buy some Buffalo Trace and some more Elijah Craig A125 barrel proof, which I have here as well. But I probably won't have that tonight because I'm trying to prevent from cussing. So, Gino?
The struggles in life.
Just say it.
I think he can make it.
Real quick, I did get to see the pictures, the ultrasound, the first ultrasound of my. Everybody thinks it's going to be a grand boy, and many of the people that have said grand boy have always been right in the past. So I got a feeling that, you know what, I don't care. I just want to be a healthy grandchild.
Yes,
and I'll just have the greatest time ever either way. So I'm super stoked about that, and I got to see the ultrasound pictures today. Obviously, I'm still not telling anybody who it is, but I think people can do math. They know it's not. I mean, that's not true. Trust me.
No, we can't
deal with people. Can't do math every day. But and we're talking about elementary math. I'd hate for them to try to figure out, kids going, okay, so it's not Preston. So if you carry the 2 and you do this, maybe do an exponent on there. And I'm like, I don't know why you're doing all this. But anyway, Gino, what are you drinking, man?
Gino is enjoying some Sagamore Rye 10-year.
That's the one that Chuck was talking about.
Chuck was talking about this in the VIP chat. And if you're not a member of the VIP chat, you're missing out.
Also, like, follow, turn on the notifications, subscribe.
Yep. Make comments. Eventually, Jody will.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I need to go here to comments just in case they come up because I'm usually 10 minutes delayed because my graduate assistant, David, he's not here today. Which is why the show is called what it is today, which I'm not going to say that because that would count as one of my curse words for the night. So I think we're just going to do the show for 5 minutes.
Makes sense.
But no, I got a heads up on this from Chuck. He posted about it in the VIP chat and made a point to go where I knew I could find it, grabbed a bottle of this, and it is quite delicious. Of course, it is. That's what Sagamore makes. They make rye. It is a rye, but this is a very delicious rye. Of course, it's aged 10 years. Comes in, what is it, 110 proof? Yeah, 110.8 proof. Aged 10 years. This is batch number 2A, bottle, blah 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 blah. But it's got very mellow baking spices to it. It is very rich in vanilla.
Really? That wasn't nice.
What? I missed.
Jen said,
Good
"Good
evening,
evening,
gentlemen.
gentlemen."
And Jody.
And Jody.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, that's not nice.
Shots fired.
I know everybody's
Yeah.
trying to get me to cuss. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to
Nah,
do it.
you got it, man.
I've got 5, but I don't want to. I don't want to lose this bet. I don't even know what we betted, but I don't want to lose.
I'm nowhere near Chuck as far as finding the profiles and stuff with this, but very muted, very mellow baking spices with this.
So it's not bright?
It is, no. It is very
10 years. That's when Chuck, if he was here, would be
vanilla heavy. It's got hints of honey in it, and there's some kind of a fruit right there in the forefront that I can't pin down yet. But the vanilla really comes on strong right towards the finish. Finish is very mild. It does not linger, but it's kind of what I would term as a beckoning kind of finish. It's like, yeah, you need another drink of this, boy. Have another drink. That's what I'm getting on it right here, right now. And
nice.
Is very good. I'm gonna have to source another bottle.
Nice. What about you, Billy? And welcome back to the show. And by the way, man, I love that me and you chat almost every day on the TikToks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very positive. We have like a very positive, mellow thing going on the TikToks. The 3 of us do.
Yeah, and before I get into what I'm drinking, I actually look forward to when you do your thing, because I think it makes for interesting conversation. It's very insightful because it makes me look into myself,
right?
Both, good and bad, because the things and the topics that you talk about, I find a lot of them to be very personal, and that is something that I'm dealing with, trying to be more of an emotional person.
Well, no, it's emotional intelligence. So you're trying to be more emotionally intelligent with with whether
Correct.
It's social, like tonight I'm working on tonight's show. We're working on self-regulation.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
now the one I'm going to fail at is empathy. I just know it. I've been working on that for 50 years. I spent 22 years in the military. There's just no way I'm ever going to be as empathetic as I need. But
that's not something they teach.
Well, it's not like that. I don't think I was born with it. I mean, I honestly get that from my mom. My mom can be a tyrant sometimes when she, like, if you feel bad, or first of all, when she's feeling bad, oh my God.
Everybody's feeling bad.
Yes. I remember one time sitting there texting with Michelle when I was at my mom's, and my mom was yelling at me and cussing and stuff. And she's like, I needed you. And I'm like, I'm literally right here. I can't get any closer. I mean, I can, but I don't want to.
So, yeah, I find it very interesting. And also it gives us another way to interact, because especially with, social media, the way it is, people have a tendency to just hit a like on a video and keep it moving and never really get to see what the context of the video is about. So, we get to go in depth as to what you're talking about, and then to go back and talk about it as well.
Well, the page is called Okay, but what does that mean? And I did start it initially for the school, because I have graduate students and undergraduate students that struggle so much with making things harder than it needs to be, right? And both of my tenure schools said no, that they're not going to use TikToks because of the security things and that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, well, that's cool. And so I had a moment there and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this into a page of positivity. Like it's almost 3 things every day except for Sunday, but this past Sunday, but it's good morning, beautiful every day, whether it's raining outside or whatever it might be. And then right afterwards, I generally do. So during that time, I generally do my meditation devotional video. And then I also like to read literature. Like that's one of the things I'm challenging myself. I've read 4 books in the last 2 weeks, all literature books, except for the emotional intelligence book. It's not a literature book; it's more of a textbook type thing. But I'm trying to read stuff that, for something to be literature, it has to have passed it becomes timeless, right? And you catch yourself being caught up in the illustration and description and stuff of that nature. It's kind of like when Gina posted that thing in our I can't cuss on this either, but in our group chat that we have, that matter of fact, both of you guys are in. He brought up this picture of this kid unwrapping what he thought was from his grandparents supposed to be Minecraft, and it's Mein Kampf, the book. And of course, I was like, man, that might have went a little bit far in this group, but at the same time, I have that book. It's right over there, and I will be honest with you. I think everybody should read it. I really do, because if you read it, I'm not saying because you need to see the hate in an individual's mind. What I'm saying is, if you look at the way Hitler wrote what he wanted of Germany and the German people, it's almost identical to the American dream. Now, I'm not saying that the hate part and all that, but we do have that in our past as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just as bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not like it's not quite as bad. It's just as bad.
Yep.
Whether we're talking about the Native Americans, the Chinese, obviously the African slaves during the transatlantic slave trade and all that, we have all the same things, which went all the way up through some people would say that it's still going on today. I don't agree with that. I think I hate to say this, I think it got worse in 2012 because there was a great poll that was put out by YouGov, and I think the AP put it out, which are both not very conservative entities, but they got a pretty good grasp on the American public prior to 2012, who was president in 2008. That was Barack Obama, right? And technically 2009, but people were happy with America. They didn't see that there was any racism. So what triggered it in 2012 to where it went kind of backwards and we started having this division? Now, I'm not wanting to get into that, but what I am trying to say is that if you read that, it's like a manuscript for just the United States as well. And now, granted, it's written time appropriate. So you'd have to go back to 1930. I think he wrote it in 30. Don't quote me on this. This is not the gospel, but I think it was 34, 35, somewhere around there. Right after he was imprisoned. So it might have been even earlier than that. It might have been 32. But he wrote it as his autobiography when he came out of prison. So while he was in prison, he wrote some of it as well. And it does start from the Treaty of Veritas. Is that what it's called?
Versailles.
Thank you. It starts there because that's where the hate and discontent came with the German population. And here's the funny thing is there's so many recorded records that he has Jewish ancestry in his life as well, So it's like, man, you really not only hated yourself, but you hated those people because of that whole treaty. And I get it. They kind of did. Man, look for the words to not use profanity, but the Allies, they definitely put the hook on it. Yeah, you can say the cuss words. I can't because I'm trying to win it.
Buggered.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Billy, but between 1924 and 1926.
Yes, I didn't post a TikTok on Sunday because I was distracted because I was with somebody.
Oh.
Well, you know who it is. Everybody knows who it is. Hello, Jordan. But anyway, I do think people. This is a great conversation, honestly, for like a bar talk, because that's what this show is about, right? It's about sitting around the bar and just having conversation with your guys or girls, whatever it might be.
I think that's, if remembering right, that's how you guys developed the show in the very beginning because of COVID, and you couldn't go to the bar.
Right, and so we didn't go to the bar. We always came here to my house, and it was between.
The other thing about we got now is like we're all over the country. I'm in West Virginia. Billy's in Florida. You're in Tennessee.
Yep.
And Dave, whenever he decides to show up again, he's in. Could be Tennessee.
To be
we're
fair,
not sure.
I'm not going to be nice today because he is my mortal enemy. But I'm just being facetious. But to be fair, he is trying to end a really volatile,
I know.
situation in his life.
It's all
And
good.
part of that is getting that house all ready to go so they can close on it.
That doesn't mean we can't pick on him.
No. I'm fully down with that. Just realize I
Okay.
have a bet going, and I have to try not to cuss. So you guys need to keep the cussing between y'all.
It's all good. But
Okay.
it's the thing. This is what people, it's what guys do. It's what buddies do. You meet at the bar. You BS at the bar. The discussions ramble from here to there to whatever. It's whatever topic is going on in everybody's lives, and this is a good topic to discuss. I mean, you're into the meditation thing with the salutations. I do daily meditation myself.
And then I do my workout right afterwards, typically.
Mine's just reverse. It's workout then meditation. So,
man, I'll tell you what,
it's all good, and I love it.
I'll tell you what, the workout thing. I mean, I've always worked out. I've always worked out so much all the time. And I can tell you right now, I'm having a hard time. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm having a hard time eating a lot. I don't know if a lot of that was some emotional issues I was having, or if it's maybe a contraction with some of my meds. But I am having a hard time putting it down enough calories. But I will tell you this: I haven't benched over 300 pounds since I broke both elbows.
Yeah.
And for the last 4 weeks in a row, I can work out with 315, 325, 335
Nice.
in that area. And when I say workout, that means 2 reps or more in each time.
Cool.
And that's fully to the chest and back up. Now, I will tell you this, that I don't believe in halves, but I will also tell you that as a guy who works out, if you come past your shoulder, that's how people get rotator cuff tears.
Yep.
So you might not want to do that. Not that I want to teach you guys how to work out in this show. That's not this kind of show. But no, I do that right afterwards, and then I generally start my day and stuff, and then depends on how my day's going, what I have to do and stuff of that nature. But no, I wanted to keep the TikToks positive, to be honest with you.
Why not? There's
I got so much negative.
everywhere.
Like, I wanted negativity. Like, I went on to X today for the first time in 2 weeks, and I will be honest with you, I done 3 things on there. I sent something funny to Michelle, but I was scrolling through the videos, and next thing it popped up like 5 things down was some type of porn, and I was like, come on, man, I don't want to see all that. It's not that I'm dead. It's just not that that's not something that interests me,
No.
throughout my day. So I just was like, whatever. Then I seen Governor Newsom had said something that was stupid. So I obviously called him out on that. And then I realized to myself, and I'm like, you know what? This is just hate, discontent. I don't want that in my life anymore, man. And so if I wasn't still muted by somebody on Facebook, I might get on there, but I just find myself really gravitating towards the positivity of TikToks. Now, my algorithm, to be fair, because if you were in our group chat, you would think, man, you guys, all of you guys are all racist as everything, or y'all hate people and this, that, and whatever. But
Hate them all equally. It's all good.
Yeah, we're like members of the EEOC for sure. But yeah, that it is that Jordan's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. It is. And it's just like, it's either that or just straight up hate. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to get involved in all this nonsense. So I sent the funny message to Michelle. Then I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. And I turned it off and or logged out of it. And then I was like back on, but I will also tell you, it's also limited my social media as well. Like, I don't really spend a whole lot of time on social media because if I have time to do something right now, I'm doing a lot of reading, for a lot of reasons, but for the biggest one is just because it's more productive than X. And then of course, I'm not going to lie, because I have a grandchild of some sort coming. I have probably bought all of Amazon. So, and Jordan is right.
Wait for it.
Antonio Brown is hilarious on X, but I got to stay off of that too. I really do.
The X, I haven't been on that in years, just because it became a cesspool, for lack of a better word. And TikTok, I'm on there, but I'm really not paying that much attention to it a lot
This is not
because
helping.
I mean, you're scrolling through there, like every third thing you come on is somebody trying to sell you something or trying to teach you how to do TikToks, and it's like, I really don't care. This is not what I'm here for. You know.
Now I like yours. I actually just sent yours to Michelle earlier. The one that you sent about just breathe. I had sent that to her. We got some family that needs some prayers. So just unanswered prayers, if you guys can, or silent prayers, if you guys can put that out there. But I had said that to her this morning. I'm like, look, calm down, just breathe. It's going to be all right.
Breathe.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. You got this. Because she immediately goes into. She's actually a lot like. In some aspects, she's very much like not Preston, but Jordan's mom. She immediately goes into, I have to be everywhere and anywhere all right now. It's all my responsibility and a caregiver at the same time. And it's like,
yep.
And it's like, you don't have to do all that. I just need you to calm down for a second. Because going up there and being crazy ain't gonna. I don't mean crazy like Looney Tunes crazy. I mean like you're not doing anything successful. But
no, trying to charge in with your hair on fire is no way to get something accomplished.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct. But man, I had an awesome weekend. What about the games? Those games this weekend, starting Friday night with Virginia and Florida State. I don't care. And everybody knows my team lost. USC lost. They lost by 2 points in the last 4 seconds of the game. With a long field goal. It was a 48-yarder, which is not for sure in college, right? But you had. Excuse me. You had the Virginia-Florida State game. It was funny because we were talking about this weekend, me and Jordan. That's what I was going to say. Hold on a second, Jordan. Let me get to it. So Jordan loves sports talk. But it started on Friday, double overtime, Virginia and Florida State, and Virginia won. And I'll be honest with you. I had posted that on Facebook right afterwards, and I said, I don't care whose side you're on. I got a bunch of friends that are Florida State friends. I got a couple friends that are alumni, and a couple people who just love Florida State and this, that, and whatever. I don't care whose side you're on. If you're gonna lose a game, that's what we pay to watch. Is those type of games. And then right after the Houston Oregon State game, it was on to like 2 a.m. local time because they also went to double overtime. And Houston did win it in double overtime. And you're like, whatever. And then over the Saturday, you had 6 overtimes.
I know.
And it's like, what in the world? UT went to overtime and won in overtime.
Yep.
That game with Oregon.
I thought they were going to blow that. I really did. They started out.
I was around all UT fans, and they thought that too. There was no positivity in that room. But they thought it as well. And then the Oregon Penn State game was freaking awesome as well. I mean, I don't like
Penn State.
Well, I love their uniforms. I'm not going to lie to you. I love the historical aspects for the uniforms. But at the same time, I also love Oregon's uniforms as well because they have 247 different color combinations and stuff that they can go with. But the games were amazing. The Alabama-Georgia game was good. And stuff of that nature. So, I mean, it was just a good weekend of football. The only thing, and like next weekend is Miami and Florida State are playing. There's another big one too. Also, the LSU Ole Miss game was great. I mean, there's just some great games this weekend. It was solid. And of course, I'm talking about football, and Gino walks away. Billy, got anything you want to add to this conversation?
I was trying to tell you guys what I was drinking, but I didn't get the opportunity.
Oh, damn. Sorry about it. Billy, what are you drinking, brother?
It's all good. I'm just a little bit upset because Miami dropped the spot for simply not playing. I don't know how that happened.
And that is you need to push your button. That is push your button. That was bullshit. Yes. So it was. And it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, SC lost by 2 points in the last 4 seconds to a ranked team that was mad from getting molested the week before.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
And at homecoming, home for the Illini, right? Illinois, and lost by 2 points. The whole game was scrappy as everything. It started at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Coast time.
Yeah.
These guys are just now rolling out of bed, right? And it's like, and then, oh yeah, Alabama Vandy plays next week, and Vandy's undefeated.
Yeah, they are.
But I think they're playing it. They're playing in Tuscaloosa though, so I don't really give Vandy a whole lot of love, thinking they're going to make it. Don't get me wrong, Pavia, if he could pull that one off, that would be amazing. Because I was telling Jordan this weekend, he reminds me a little bit of Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel. Like if them two, though I wouldn't want to be involved in their love triangle, but if those two had a child in a test, like a test tube, it would be that child, Billy,
what are we drinking?
So I'm having some Coors Banquet beer tonight. And this is what I consider to be a barbecue beer. That would be Coors Banquet, Pabst Blue Ribbon, known as PBR, and Miller High Life. And also in a piece of exciting news, I have customers coming to see me tomorrow who are from out of state, and they put Cafe 305 Barbecue on their to-do list while they're here in Florida. So
it's awesome.
I'm taking that as a big win. That because usually that only happens to like the big name barbecue spots in like Texas or whatnot, where people put it on the agenda to come visit a particular spot.
To my 51 followers on TikTok, I say it's the best barbecue sauce in the world. Fight me.
So yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. Kind of a personal and business benchmark, if you will.
Cool.
So, and I'm sure there's more of that to come. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the Miami Florida State game. Excuse me. I just don't understand how we fall a spot by simply not playing. Like that math doesn't even make sense. But
nope.
Even with the college playoffs.
Hold on one second. This is an emergency thing, real quick. Michelle asked a question via text, and apparently I'm just a horrible person because she didn't know this. Her question was, and I quote, "He made any bourbon barbecue sauce yet?" So can you hook a brother up, man?
So here's the deal with the bourbon barbecue sauce.
You did make it because we have it.
Yes,
had it,
but
I still have it.
What makes it exclusive is that you can't even get it online. It's something that if you wanted to get your hands on, you would have to come visit the location. But I'll make an exception and I'll get it out.
Or you'll get it out to me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. I appreciate it. Will you sign it again like you did last time? And I'll take for sure that bottle straight to her.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's actually going to be I want to call it
she said, expression. Let's go. She's like, we'll go down there. Let's go.
How do they say it? It's a new expression, new bottle design and everything. So it's going to be nice.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind coming down there. We've been talking about it for so long. We need to do that. I was thinking about that. Like, she has a birthday coming up next month, not this coming month, the following month. And I have been thinking about going down there and taking a trip to, we've been talking about it for so long, and that'd be about the time I need to go to South Beach. It's about that time. Because it'd be appropriate weather for a very Caucasian guy. And now here's what's funny. Jordan says, I'm down to go to Miami too. He'll be there in 2 to 3 business days because he will not fly.
Why?
Oh man.
That's a conversation for when he comes on the show. You can have that conversation with him.
Okay.
There's so many places I want to take that boy. And he's like, I can't do it, Jody. There's like, we have to go on a plane. I'm like, man, I take so many meds. I can hook you up with a few. I'm already going to get stopped by TSA. So if you're holding some of it, it's going to be fine. He's like, I don't like heights. Don't look out the window.
Exactly. Get an aisle seat.
Don't get a window seat.
Yeah.
And see, I'm just the opposite. I have.
And your mom's probably got some Xanax. No, he knows I'm not lying there. That's not a dig.
Okay.
He's setting up
I'm just the opposite of Jordan there, man. I've got to have the window seat. I got to be able to look out because I have an issue of being in that big tube flying through the air. I've got to be able to see out.
I used to love the window seats until I started flying with Preston. And when me and Preston went to Vegas, not Southwest, it was Spirit. Spirit put the 3 largest dudes, like the 3 fit guys, and I'm putting myself in that group too, but the guys who had shoulders all in the same row. And so all of us were sitting like this, sideways. And I was sitting by the window, and I was like, the whole time. And I was like, dude, I'm not doing that again.
For me, I get on a plane and I can go straight to sleep. Just wake
I don't
me
have
up when we
plane don't even have
ready
to start. It could just have the APU going, auxiliary power unit, and I'll fall right to sleep, dude. Right to sleep. Yeah. I'm like, this is great. But yeah, I mean, there's Miami would be. We need to do that. We need to we'll look at some weekends because I was thinking the 7th or 8th, somewhere around that time frame of November. But I have to. That would be a Friday. If I could take a Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday. Spirit is bankrupt, so it doesn't matter, Chuck. They are terrible. Me and Preston were on a flight to San Diego. We flew Spirit, and he can tell you there was a fight that took place in the back of the plane, and it was full on hair pulling. I'm not trying to tell you who the constituencies are or the demographics, but I've seen that before when I was a police officer. I can tell you that. I mean, and it was loud. I was like, oh my God. And people are just getting beat. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And they came down and asked Preston, like, would you change seats with this woman? And Preston goes, and I don't know why they asked him. I guess because he was so big, like they're not going to mess with him. And he was like, no, ma'am, I have to stay next to my dad. I'm under the age of 17. And he was actually not. He was over the age of 17, but that's how he rolled.
Hey, it works.
Hey, listen, you pay for the seat that you get, right?
Yep.
Hey, it's when I fly with, we try to fly business class or first class. So I'll pay that extra money just for the extra room.
If I'm flying anywhere over 4 hours, for sure, I am always going to fly first class. And the reason why is because when I was in the military, I used to live in Hawaii for a while, but I used to have to fly to Hawaii all the time. Now, if I can get on a military transport, I don't care what flight I'm on, because that is comfortable. You can lay down in the cargo bay. As long as they don't open up the door, you're not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And it's so comfortable. And it's so, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're flying a C-130 or C-5 or C-141. It is so comfortable, right? And people will complain. They'll say, well, not really. You have those jump boxes, or they may have cargo in there. Dude, I have slept on top of the cargo before. It is so comfortable. You can just get up there. Like I slept on top of MRAP they had in the back of no, that's not true. It was a Humvee they had in the back of a C-130 that was going from Balad to that's not true either. It was Al Asad. Nope. What was it? Ali Osaline. It was going from Ali Osaline to Qatar from my R&R. All right. And I slept on it had parachutes and stuff on top of it, and it had some other packages. I literally got on top of it and laid on top of it, and I slept for the whole 5-hour flight on top of it. It was so comfortable. And it was my first flight ever on a C-130 that I didn't jump out of. It was quite nice.
Cool.
So
yeah, I remember I flew from Fort Lauderdale to San Francisco, and
that's a long flight.
That's a long flight, but let me tell you, I think by the time I woke up, we was like maybe 2 minutes from landing. I was like, wow, okay. So I don't know. I've never had a real fear of flying. I think I actually hate driving. This past weekend,
Yeah,
One of
you
the
were.
guys who
Hold on one second. David was there because it was me, if I remember correctly, David, and you can attest to this. It was me, you, Kathy Berry, Daryl Heitch, and one other person. Daryl Heitch has been on the show before. That was in that small friend group that went there, and that was the first time I ever flew in a C-130 that I landed in. Very first time ever. I actually said that to David because he was sitting beside me initially on the takeoff. So anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but David was right.
No, it's okay. So this past weekend with a guy who I do the market with, we was at the Soul Rodeo up in Port St. Lucie, and it was like an hour and 45-minute drive. And I'm like, you know what? People are just dumb. I don't want to be on the highway. I don't want to be around people.
Yep.
I'd rather just fly. It's so much easier. And I've driven quite a few times from Miami to Virginia and back, like nonstop. It's like a 16-hour drive.
Well, so that's what I was telling Jordan.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like, let's go down to the condo anytime you want, man. Just me and you or whatever. And I said, let's just get on a flight. It's 45 minutes from Nashville. Like, you barely know you're
That's
up
a
to
no-brainer.
altitude at that time.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a 5.5, 6 hour drive, let's just get on the flight together.
Yeah. And from Fort Lauderdale to Jamaica, it's like soon as you get up to cruising altitude, you start to descend. It's that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's same. Same with going from here to Panama City. Exact same. You get up to, you ascend to altitude, and then next thing you know, we're coming down. They didn't have time to even take anything out to anybody. By the way, Daniel Berry, good to see you, brother.
There he is.
Happy Monday. But I will tell you, 36 minutes and 36 seconds into this, I have done really well with not cussing.
Listen, I got a little.
You can't go to
bit
Buc-ee's on the plane. Well, you know what? I'll take his bride, and she and I can go fly together, and we'll meet you there.
There it is.
So I have a little bit of faith in you, but also I watched Dallas play last night, regular overtime, and end in a tie game. It was so anticlimactic. I was like, all that good football just to end in a tie. I was like, they got to do something about this. And it was, I think the lead change was like 6 or 7 times. And finally, that's all we get is a tie out of all this good football. I was like, no, it's got to be something more to it.
I can tell you what I don't like. I don't like that kickoff. And here's the reason why. I was thinking about that this weekend because I was watching their kickoff, and I was like, and it is. You said it perfectly. It's very anticlimactic. But I made it no bones about it. I'm a free agent when it comes to professional football. The Titans suck, and I used to be a Chargers fan, but they left my city.
Yeah.
And Jordan says she likes, but well, you can stop and take pictures there. I bet she will fly with me there. The Saints are horrible too. I mean, there's a lot of really bad teams. All right, right now that I would even remotely pull for, and if I was going to pull for them. But I was watching. I don't know what game it was. It was some game that was on. It could have been. I don't know. It was some professional team that I just happened to be flipping through, and I was like, all right, Jody, we're going to try this for a second. And I watched it for a second. I was trying to go to sleep. It was right after I was watching church on Sunday because I came home and watched the sermon from video, right?
Yeah.
And then I was trying to chill out and just kind of chill, you know. And I was watching the video, just watching some of the games and that kickoff they were doing. So whomever was playing last night about 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, that'd been 7, I guess. It could have been Dallas game. I don't know. But I really don't know. I was watching them do kickoff, and I was like, that is the most lame thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I want to go back to I want to go back to Ronnie Lott, you know, where you watch people get murdered on the field. Like that time Steve Largent got concussed for like 2 years of football because he got hit late by some linebacker out of bounds, which he'd have been fined. He probably was fined. But it was probably $3,500 back in the day. Now it'd be $350,000 or something. But, you know, but man, like football, I just don't like that. Nobody gets trucked anymore. You know, I think they're overprotecting the quarterbacks, and I understand that. And I do, and don't get me wrong, I do think when you start looking at like TBIs and stuff like that, that's a significant issue. I get that, I really do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, technology is so much more advanced than it was back in, and they're not even wearing the same size pads they wore back in the day.
No.
I mean, you saw those guys like they were part of the Road Warriors when they came out.
Yep.
These giant freaking shoulder pads, and they might only be 200 pounds, but they look 360 pounds because of their shoulder pads. You
guys are old enough to remember Jack Lambert, right?
Yeah, of course.
Middle linebacker, Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the most feared guys in the NFL.
Had no teeth. He would look like a hockey player.
Yep. His playing weight was 204 pounds.
See, Preston.
204 pounds.
Preston couldn't get a scholarship to USC, Florida State, or Tennessee because he wasn't big enough. He's 225 or so. Solid muscle. Bigger than Jack Lambert.
Well, yep. and the other part of it is, too, I think that's made the game a little less exciting. And I get it, cost of living and whatever. But you got players, they gave Deshaun Watson $300 million. And if you think about some of the players from those really roughneck days, I don't think those guys made $10 million like their whole career. No. And now you're paying guys $300 million to sit on a bench. He's absolutely useless. And so many sexual assault charges. He had like 41 of them. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And another thing that they've done to soften the game up, you can only touch a quarterback between the numbers. If you hit him underneath the hips, it's a low blow, they call it. If you so much as look at him wrong from the neck up, it's a 15-yard penalty.
That and the targeting rule in college football is so ridiculous, man. Like, that's something I can't get behind. I just can't get behind that.
Yeah,
like, I honestly want to see targeting. I'm not going to lie to you. I really do.
And you can't even taunt your opponent because
I'm not so much against the taunting. And the reason why is I think, in my opinion, if you're going to taunt somebody, say you're an offensive player that picks up your offensive lineman picks up a dadgummit, there was one. Dadgummit. You pick up a fumble, all right? And you Ronnie Lott it. Not Ronnie Lott, what's his name?
James Harrison.
Leon Lett. Remember when he ran it in there and he had it knocked out at the goal line during the Super Bowl?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
If you do that, played for, that right there would be, hold on a second. And he's right. Lambert did look huge.
204, man.
And then there's Jack Frost. Oh, by the way, people don't understand. So last week when I was calling him a Niger, which is not a bad word, but it might have been inappropriate for people who don't know. So the first time we ever met John Baker, he huge ice guy. Like we thought, John, I don't mean this in any disrespect, so please understand. And he knows this, but we were like, is he autistic? Like he's really into ice a whole lot, right? Like all he was doing is like he was showing us around, and the reason why is he really does have an art to it. So I'm not knocking him about it. It was what it was, right? And but he was really into it, so we started nicknaming him Jack Frost. And I was just saying that he was part of the ice crew and all of that, and he was. I always thought he was funny, but he did step across the line a few times, and that's either here or there. But we had a great time, and he seems to be okay with it now. But I miss talking to him. He did reach out this past week to check on David, and I told him what was going down with David. And he was like, "That's cool." So I got 4 more curse words I can say in the next 16 minutes.
You can make it. I got faith in you.
But by the way, that word is in the Bible. See, I used to use that, like, in my defense when I was a kid with my parents, I would say like the A word, or I would say the D word, not the D word that ends with K, but the D word that ends with N has an M right before it with an A right there somewhere too. And and I would be like, look, Mom, it's in the Bible. And she's like, Can you point to a scripture? And I could at the time, because that would be the only scripture I knew. It's the ones that could get me out of trouble, you know? So,
oh, shoot.
Like, hey, it's in black and white.
It's right there. God says it.
Hey.
So, I mean, not really God, but one of the authors of this chapter said it. That means that's what he said. You know,
the book. It's in the book.
The oxen and the, you know, and the other yahoos.
I don't know if you guys heard, but now here in the great state of Florida, you can open carry your gun.
I seen a guy from Florida carrying his
Nice.
freaking AK-47 on his back on a motorcycle this past week.
So when I was up at the rodeo, I go into Walmart to.
By the way, that red hat looked great on you.
Thank you. And I got your hat, by the way, with
you.
the number on it.
Thank you, my man.
I went into Walmart, and literally I probably saw like 3 or 4 people open carry. Now my thing is this: I'm with it. I understand it. You want to have your freedoms. I am not going to trample on it, but I think you got to have some sort of understanding and be a little bit more tactful, if you will. I driving around with an AK-47 across your back on a motorcycle, I think that's a bit much. And what happens if you get into an accident and you go down and you?
Well, I think there's a lot of place. And I actually agree with Jack Frost here. Make barbecue great again. I think Billy is doing that all by himself. I really do.
You know it.
Doing my best.
And the people from Hope Ministries thinks I'm helping out. They, by the way, they love my sauce. I have to tell you how I make my sauce. Maybe you can make a Jody's blend, you know, at some point. I mean, I don't want to advertise it for me because it's not for me. I only do it because I want to. I just honestly love cooking and I love working with those guys. That's all it is. But I did create my own sauce and it has a nice spice to it. And one of the guys that's there, I think I was telling you about it, Billy, named Sonny. He's a chef, and he's in the center. And he's like, you know, before he picked up my ribs or my hot wings, he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jody. That is your name, right? I'm like, it is. And he goes, and he's I got a picture of him. I'll have to show you guys offline. He's about 6'7". He's a giant black man. All right. And named Sonny with and all he does is smile all the time. He's like, just big smiles all the time. And he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't think white folks can make barbecue. And I'm like, well, just understand, I'm doing it with love, and I'm here to help you guys, and I just want to talk and hang out. He come back after hammering down a half rack of ribs, and he's like, there's a lot of love in that sauce. Yeah, you did a really good job. How long did you smoke those for? And I'm like, I didn't smoke them at all. I did it on a flat top. He goes, you cook ribs on a flat top? I'm like, I did, son. He goes, well, that's sacrilegious. How did you do that? I'm like, I think we're in a place where we can just say religious, you know, maybe. And he's like, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're gonna have to show me one day when I get out of here. We're gonna have to open up a business together. You're gonna have to show me how to make ribs that way. And I'm like, well, I didn't do it. I didn't learn how to do it on my own. I reached out to my friend that owns Cafe 305 down in Miami, and he knows I like to cook on either cast iron or skillets and stuff like that. And so I used my Blackstone, and he was telling me, and of course, if you go on any of the Blackstone forums, they'll tell you, you can't do it. You can't do it. It's never going to work. They're going to taste like crap, this, that, and whatever. And I'm telling you, my ribs are smoking good. Like they really are. If you want to add smoke, he was like, how do you add the smoke to it? I'm like, well, there are ways to add smoke. You don't have to do liquid smoke. You don't have to do any of that. You can actually take one of those little pans and fill it up with water, a little bit of water, and some chips. Let it get real hot and boil, and then take it off the heat, and then put it back on, and it will smoke up the whole thing, and it will provide a ton of smoke, and you'll have all the flavors you'd want in there. He's like, man, I tell you, so much love you put in those ribs and those hot wings. Man, hot wings. How do you make hot wings as a white guy? You realize you can't be white. And he said it just like that. And I'm like, I think at this point we're moving a little bit too far. Can we get back to the scripture? You know, Sonny, you and I. He's like, well, I think it's biblical. I think it's in the Bible. White folks can't make barbecue or hot wings, and you did it.
Well, you know, and people are surprised that I can do smoked meatballs. it's you're only limited to, I think, your imagination.
Yeah.
Because
I
if you
agree with
got
you.
the right smoker or the right setup as far as a grill, there's very little you
Well,
can't
you've been to
do.
my house.
Yeah,
I have good stuff, and I know how to make stuff, and I honestly learn from like people like you. You're
Yep.
great. I'm a novice that just wants to have fun, you know, funsies, and I love to cook. And it's like today I make cookies, and I made these brownie chocolate chip cookies today for the group, and a vegetable tray. Took it down there. I don't know how to make. I've never baked anything much in my life, you know. That's not my forte. But they had to ask me, can you bake? And I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to lie here in church, so I'm
Baking's
not
easy.
going to. And I said, but I can read directions, you know.
well, there's a couple people who I know in the barbecue business that actually do a smoke brownie and they do
Mhm.
smoke cookies. You just have to do it at the far end of your pit.
Yeah, you have to do
Um,
it far in because it has to
yeah,
be low heat on that. I would
yeah.
imagine very
I
low
mean,
heat.
because if you can get it to where if your pit is built properly, I can have 250 right at the firebox, and then down at the end, I can have like 225. So if I just want to keep some beans warm or
Mhm.
like some sloppy mac warm, I could do it down there, no problem. But you have to know your pit. You have to know what you're doing. And more than anything, it does require you to keep a watchful eye. That's the one thing I think people truly don't understand when it comes to cooking on like an offset smoker, the amount of time and attention that you pay to it, because you got to
Yeah.
keep your temperature steady, and that can be a little difficult with a live fire. So, things like, the dryness of your wood, how many logs you put on, how you place it, how far your stack is open, how far you got air coming into your firebox. I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but I can get my fire to where it leans into the cook chamber. And that's when you know you got a good, healthy fire and your pit is flowing the right way.
Mm.
So it could be a little bit of a task, but at the same time, I pride myself as to every time I do it to try to learn from uh, my last cook to this cook. And I'll tell you guys, I watch barbecue videos. I would probably say a minimum. I probably watch 10 barbecue videos a day. I
So
will watch somebody trim a brisket, even though
Mhm.
I've trimmed God knows how many briskets in my lifetime.
so
There's more to learn.
I watch a lot of videos too on cooking. I
Mhm.
really enjoy some of. So I really enjoy. I'm trying to think of how to put this. So I really enjoy some of the like recipes that might be out there, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to figure out how to do them and stuff of that nature, and make the ones that. So I do the same thing. I find different YouTube channels that I may watch. There's this one called the Pamp. No, he's called the Khaki. I don't know, something like that. Hold on, I'll tell you what it is. That's the reason why.
And if you guys get a chance, there's this one town
Let me
channel
push mute.
called um, Meat Church, a guy named Matt Pittman,
Yes.
and he
I've
gives a
seen his stuff.
lot of good tips.
Yep.
And also, there's this little place in Texas, and it's in Montgomery, Texas, Bar A Barbecue. He does like a how to, I think it's every Wednesday.
Okay.
And I watched him trim a brisket maybe 4 months ago. And for me, I'm open enough to even look at a situation and be like, you know what? Let me try that. And it worked.
It's called the
So
Preppy
since
Kitchen.
the Prepper Kitchen, okay.
Okay.
And
Preppy, and he's kind of dainty, but he that's what I was thinking about. Just saying, I was trying to remember what the name it was, and I got kind of the clump. But it's called the Preppy Kitchen. He's really good. He's kind of soft to listen to because he is maybe not on our team.
White and the loafers.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say that because I'm trying to keep it all clean tonight. But
It was clean. There was no profanity whatsoever in what I said. But to go along with some of the other things, another guy that I like to watch, and if I'm looking for something that I don't fix on a regular basis, there's a guy, I forget his, Malcolm Reed.
I know who you're talking about. I've seen that one. Yep, I've seen that guy.
I've seen his stuff, and I like his stuff, and I like the way he goes about his business. But that's also right back to Mr. Billy and his YouTube channel, which is underutilized anymore.
Yeah, I got to get back.
Now I got hooked up and following Mr. Billy on YouTube on cooking stuff.
Yeah, I used to follow him too. I still do follow him. I'm still a subscriber.
I still follow him. That's why I said it's underutilized.
Yeah, I got to get back to it. And, it's that thing, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Case in point. So the tomorrow I have, a customer who reached out and was like, hey, we're coming in from out of town and we want to come by and get some of your barbecue. And really wasn't on the bingo card tomorrow because of prep and everything else, but I'm going to make it happen for him,
Cool.
So it's, I have to stretch myself in a lot of different places, make sure and keep everything right. I have to make a list of sauces that I have to make because I get so busy sometimes, because if not, I'll make sauces and forget, oh God, I was supposed to make one. We have a particular customer, every 2 weeks, she goes through 2 bottles of Caesar dressing. And it's like
2 bottles of
nonstop.
Caesar dressing?
Wow.
Yeah. So, I got customers giving me requests. Just today, I returned the processing of a deer for a customer. He brought me a deer. So I made him sausages, which I'm becoming very, very good. My sausage game wasn't anywhere near my brisket and rib game, but now my sausage game is getting really, really, really good. So I made him jerky. I even took the bones of the deer and roasted them off for his dog, and he was so excited for that. So
because the marrow would be really good for the dogs.
Oh yeah, it'll be fantastic for the dogs. So you're right. It's very underutilized, and I definitely got to get back to it. But
Did you see that I did that skillet recipe on there?
Yeah.
I actually try to break it down so people could actually see how it's made and stuff.
And it's gonna sound weird, but if you notice with any of my content, very, very seldom do I actually speak in my videos. So I got to get back to it where I can explain the stuff I was doing. Even when I show some of the custom stuff I do, it's just pictures and videos. You rarely hear my voice. So I had people say to me, I had no idea what you sounded like until I came across one of your videos where you were talking.
Well, it's like that sweet video you sent me this morning. That guy spoke so well.
Yeah.
He even said, ask.
He did. And you reminded me of that. I was like,
after I said what? I said, Billy, that was a sweet video. Thank you. I love you, brother, is what I said. And then I was like, hey, side note, did you notice that he knows how to say ask? So like, that takes us to a final question tonight, but in the last 2 minutes. Is it just certain ones of you guys that can say ask, or is it, or what?
So, for me, I think it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, you've said that before. I agree with you.
Yes.
A lot of times
it's like here in the South, fixing or bless your heart and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what these people are fixing, but they're fixing everything.
Yep.
Also, what I think we should understand as well as in the Black culture, I think you can really look at the language that we speak. It could almost be considered a different language, because no matter where you're from, if you're around a certain culture and you speak a certain way, they know exactly what you're saying.
I bet the linguistics of that would be interesting, because there probably is some like Creole or something, whatever it's called, that's mixed into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for instance, in the islands, they had what's called patois. Yeah. So if you wasn't from the islands and you heard two people speaking patois, you would swear they're speaking.
One more time. What are you saying? I can't understand what you're saying. I apologize.
Patois is what it's called.
Patois?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's a language within a language, if you will. And if you haven't been around and heard the people speak it, you would think I couldn't even understand what they're saying. But if you know it, it's second nature. I can be at the market and a customer will say something to me across the table, and I'll immediately ask him, so what part of Trinidad you're from? You know, what part of Jamaica you're from? They're like, how do you know that? And it's because I can hear it in their speak, in their language. And it's something that the ears recognize immediately. And you would be surprised here because even some of the older Latin people, when they speak Spanish, the younger crowd doesn't understand what they're saying.
No.
Well, I bet there is a difference between like Cuban, Puerto Rican, some of the other islands, Jamaican, all that. Well, Jamaican's not really Spanish, but
English.
Yeah. Well, I found out from one of my colleagues this week that's a new colleague to my team. I'm not going to obviously mention him here, but he's from the only English-speaking South American colony, which is Papua New Guinea. Mm-hmm. And is that right? It's the one where, it's New Guinea. So yeah, he speaks really proper English, but it has a very island Trinidad sound to it.
Yeah, I think that would be what they call the Queen's English.
Mm.
And speaking of like Jamaica, so people from England can perfectly understand people from Jamaica, but a lot of times people from the States can't understand people in Jamaica. They the way the words are kind of pushed together, you wouldn't understand it, but if you know it, you know it.
Right.
So
it's interesting.
So I think it's a cultural thing, but it wouldn't matter where I was if I said, you know, you good? And even that simple phrase, depending on the tone and the body language in which you say it, has a lot of different meanings. So if I say, yo, what's up? You good? That's speaking to somebody who's a friend. But if it's somebody you don't know and, you know, you seem like you got a little tension between you, yo, what's up, dog? You good or what? That means, do we have a problem? You know, we got something we need to discuss, that we need to go outside. So even the body language and the intent behind it can change, even though it's the same exact phrase, you good.
Okay, so to get back to our original question before we end the show tonight, remember, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and if you're not part of the VIP, reach out to these guys and they'll make you part of it. But that doesn't understand how you made the K and ask to an X to sound like X.
You know, I couldn't explain that particular bit to you, but I know what it means. And when people say it, because I will be watching something where an actor's in a role or just speaking in an interview, and he'll say it, and I know exactly what he means. You know, I know exactly what he's saying. And I think it's the professor in you that makes you wonder, that didn't come out right.
Well, no, because Jordan said on here, he was like, or Lebanon, or whatever that
Lebanon
means. Yeah. See, I can't do that. It's Lebanon.
Lebanon.
You know, I can put it in the spelling. I can put it like what people would read if they knew if people in the South knew how to read. Not saying all the people, but a lot of them don't know how to read.
Gotta add pictures.
But it's Lebanon. It's just like I was corrected many times this weekend about Mount Juliet. I'm always corrected with Maryville. I mean, it's Maryville. Maryville. I don't know how they come up with whatever word they're trying to spell. That's not right. Or say, I'm saying. Sorry.
And here's something a little
I'm like, are we reading the same words?
You know how people say, oh, you want your cake and eat it too. So we've all heard that.
I've heard that phrase in the last little bit, and I was like, "That's not what I want at all. I just want my cake." Not, I mean, and that cake is a specific thing. That's it, you know.
The actual phrase is, "You want your cake and eat it as well." So when the phrase was originally came out, it was speaking to having two different
Kate,
life,
Kate and Edith.
and
And
either
Edith.
two.
Eden. Okay, Eden. Kate and Eden. I did not know that.
You want your cake and eat it too.
Wait a minute. Are you saying Kate and Eden? Or are you saying cake
No,
and eat it?
the phrase is Kate, like
Kate, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Eden.
Edith, like a woman's
Edith.
name.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Edith, like on Archie Bunker. Got it.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's what the original phrase was.
Yeah. I know about North Versailles.
And Edith as two.
Well, it's like I was asked recently about Lafayette and Lafayette. I'm like, oh my God, you guys kill me. Why can't you just read the words that are there? The letters that are there that make that word. Take some, read from left to right, take any Tylenol for headaches, any Midol for cramps. But anyway, I only said one cuss word in this show. This has been fun. It's been real. Like, follow, subscribe, turn on the notifications. I know it's toned down a little bit. I'm working on self-regulation. I think I did really good.
Did awesome.
And even if that one person that made a bet with me wants to say that I used the term in the title, and therefore I thought it Minority Report, I still won.
You did not utter that word.
I agree.
So, yeah, it's null and void.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can take a poll. Eyes have it. Anyway, guys, be careful. Love each other. Have fun. Peace out.
Be good to yourself.
Be good to yourselves.